Welcome to O'Reilly Maths. This is the Junior Cert Higher Level paper from 2022 and we're looking at question number 9. Part A says k is equal to 7 and m minus k is equal to 4. Work out the value of 9k minus 6m. So to work out the value of 9k minus 6m, we need to know what k and m are. Now k is given straight away, k is 7. What we can do with that k value, 7, is we can put that in here instead of that k, and that will help us to find m. So just looking at this equation here, m minus k, well k is 7, is equal to 4. So if m minus 7 is equal to 4, that means m must be 11. So now we know that k is 7 and m is 11. So to find 9k minus 6m, that will be equal to 9 times the value of k, which is 7, minus 6 times the value of m, which is 11. And that is equal to 63 minus 66, which is equal to minus 3. Okay, part B asks us to factorize fully 8ax minus 14bx plus 4ay minus 7by. So there's 4 terms here. Now the first thing, anytime you see the word factorize, the first thing you should try and do is find a common factor for all of the terms, no matter how many there are. Now when you look at these 4 terms, there's actually no common factor to all of them, apart from the number 1, which doesn't help. So when you've got 4 terms like this, one of the methods we can use is factorizing by pairing. So if I can pair these up into 2 pairs with common factors, then I can proceed from there. Now you could pair the first 2 terms because they both have a 2x common, would be the highest common factor. But I'm going to pair this one with this one, the first term with the third term, and I'm going to pair the second term with the fourth term. It really doesn't matter how you pair them, so long as you can find a common factor in each pair. But when I do these 2 terms here, the first and the third, I notice that 8ax and 4ay, the highest common factor there is 4a. And if I factorize 4a from 8ax, that leaves me with 2x. And 4a from 4ay leaves me with plus y. Okay, so now I can look at this pair here, minus 14bx minus 7by. And the highest common factor I can take out there is minus 7b. Now some people might take out plus 7b there, but I'm trying to get the same thing in this bracket here. I want to get that over here as well. And if you factorize minus 7b out from the first term, that leaves you with 2x, which is what I have over here. Okay, and if I factorize minus 7b from minus 7by, that leaves me with positive y. So by factorizing out the negative 7b, the negative term there, that has left me with the brackets here are common. So 2x plus y in this bracket, 2x plus y in this bracket. So if 4a is multiplied by this bracket, minus 7b multiplied by the same bracket, I'm allowed to say then that that's 4a minus 7b multiplied by that same common bracket. So this is the factorizing by pairing method. Okay. Part C, write the following as a single fraction in its simplest form. So we have to subtract 2 fractions here. So remember, when you're subtracting fractions, you'll remember from primary school, you have to find the lowest common denominator. And the lowest common denominator of here is this denominator multiplied by this denominator. So the lowest common denominator is 2x plus 1 times 3x plus 5. I'm going to do the 2 fractions separately. Same common denominator over here, 2x plus 1 multiplied by 3x plus 5. You multiply the denominators to get the common denominator. So now if I compare this, so I'm changing each of these fractions into these fractions. So what did I do here to the bottom of this fraction to make it become like this? Well, I multiplied it by 3x plus 5. So I'm going to have to do the same to the top. So the top will be multiplied by 3x plus 5 as well. The value of the fraction now has remained unchanged. Over here, the top is going to be, what did I multiply 3x plus 5 by to get this? Well, I multiplied it by this bracket, 2x plus 1. Okay, so now that I have a common denominator for both fractions, I can write it as one single fraction. With the same denominator, 2x plus 1 bracket 3x plus 5. And that's going to give me, on top, I'm going to have my 2 times 3x plus 5 minus 3 times 2x plus 1. Okay, so now I can multiply out the brackets on top. And then I'm going to multiply this out as well. So on top now I'm going to have 6x plus 10 minus 6x minus 1. All over that same common denominator. Now, you could multiply out the bottom of this fraction, but if you do, you're better off leaving that factorized in case you can simplify. So at the end, if you want, you can multiply it out, but there's really no need to multiply out the bottom of this fraction. So the numerator now on top becomes 6x minus 6x, which cancel each other out, and then you've got 10 minus 1, which is 9. You have 9 on top, and the denominator remains the same. And that is the single fraction in its simplest form. Again, if you did multiply out the bottom of the fraction, you would still be correct, but there is no need to do that here. Okay, finally, part D. Solve the equation 2x squared minus 7x minus 3 is equal to 0. Give each answer correct to 2 decimal places. So this is a quadratic equation, and remember you can solve by factorizing some quadratic equations, or you can use the quadratic formula. The fact that they've asked here to give your answer correct to 2 decimal places is a clue really that you should be using the quadratic formula. So in your tables book, the quadratic formula says, for an equation that looks like this, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So if you have an equation that looks like this, where a, b, and c are numbers, and you can see ours does look like that, the solution is x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I'm taking this straight from the tables book. So we're going to apply that now. Well, you can see our a number is going to be the number in front of x squared there, which is 2. So that 2 is going to go in there. That 2 will go in there. Our b number in front of x is going to be minus 7. And that's going to go here and here. And finally, our c constant is this constant term here, minus 3, and we're going to put that in there. So we're substituting these numbers now in here. So x is going to be equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So you'll notice there the way that I replaced each letter with an empty bracket. This is good practice to do it this way. And now I'm going to put my numbers in inside the brackets, right? So my a value will go here and here, My B value will go here and here, and my C value will go there. Okay, so B is -7, A is 2, and C is -3. So now I just go to my calculator, I press the fraction button first, and then I type this exact thing in that we have here in front of us. So it's going to be minus bracket -7, and then we do it once with plus and once with minus. Okay, so I'm going to do it with plus first. Square root of -7 squared minus 4 times 2 times -3 all over 2 times 2. So they wanted to correct to 2 decimal places. When you press equals, it'll give it to you in surd form, and you just press the SD button to change it to a decimal. So x is equal to, and when you use the plus sign, you get 3.886, which corrected 2 decimal places is 3.89. And then to find the answer, the other answer, you just change the plus sign to a negative. Press equals. And this time you get minus 0.386, which is minus 0.39. So there's my 2 answers correct to 2 decimal places. And that's the end of the question.